friends, it is time to say goodbye to the 2025 garden.
Summer is ended, the leaves are turning brown.
Friends, we are saying goodbye to the 2025 garden. And I have to say, this is probably my most challenging year. Just pests, water issues at the beginning of the summer and cooler temps, and then hot and dry towards the end. I didn't have a good year. I had no tomatoes. I had to rip all my tomatoes out in like end of July. They were just disease ridden with blight. I had rabbits and just insects eat all of my summer sunflower crop. And then towards the end of the summer, it was just complete and utter. It was just drought. Thankfully, I had zinnias. They did well, but also like at the farm stand, I don't want to just sell zinnias because that's an everyday thing you have in your garden. And it's not, yes, they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. But I like a mixed bouquet and texture, and it just wasn't happening. And I ended my season in like the second, third week of September. So yeah, horrible tomato year. I couldn't get any of my zucchini to even go or the plants to go. The blackberries did really well. That was a positive. My peppers did well. That was a positive. My bell peppers, my jalapeno peppers, no, they didn't do well. I had a really challenging year. Couldn't get my green beans to go. I don't know, guys. I don't know what is going on. Yeah, I think I really do try to do like crop rotation, understanding you shouldn't be planting the same crop in the same spot year after year, because it obviously depletes the soil of certain things, and then certain diseases are there, and just it's a breeding ground for that. Now, I will say, I did plant my tomatoes in the same place this year. Even after all of that, that's the one thing I didn't move, and maybe that was something to do with it. I don't know, but they were, yeah, I don't know. So last year, best tomato year ever. This year, worst tomato year ever. And honestly, when the tomatoes went with the garden, I went with the garden too. I was done. I felt so frustrated and defeated, and I didn't want to do it anymore. My heart was not in it. I wanted to put it down and take a break. The only reason I got out here to do anything was because we were hosting my brother's wedding, and so we cleaned up, and I loved how the garden looked. It looked beautiful for what we still had, which was pretty much all zinnias, and thankfully, because it was a beautiful garden. But yeah, it just didn't, I don't know, things didn't work. The dahlias didn't work for me this year. I'm cutting those. We're done. Okay, sorry, the babies are in this phase where like they hit each other back and forth, of course, and I say, hey, say don't hit, but I have to say it, and then they move on. What was I saying? Oh yes, dahlias. We're done with dahlias. They did horrible. I put them in the ground this year in a totally new spot up front, thinking, okay, like we'll try this because I've tried them back here. They did okay. Did them in these raised beds back here last year. They did pretty well, but again, I wanted to crop rotate because if any of them have disease, you're not supposed to plant your dahlias in that place, and a couple of them had that gall. So I was like, okay, we're not planting in here. Move to a new spot. Okay. Oh my gosh. The babies, just constant interruptions, but that's okay, right? Because mom first, garden second. Anyway, yeah, I didn't have the best year. I checked out, and honestly, I haven't wanted to be out here, and I have been praying for that revival in my heart, or I guess, you know, that spark to be relit and rekindled for the garden. And it has been a little bit. I think we're gonna make some changes. I do way better in the spring than in the summertime. Spring, people are ready for the color and the flowers and the life after a long, you know, cold, dead, brown winter. So I'm really gonna go hard in the spring flowers. Summer, I will plant, but I will only maybe plant enough for 10 to 15 plants 10 to 15 bouquets a week. I'm not going to bank on anything else. And, you know, summer, just people are on vacation, kids are in sports, they're traveling, you know, just doing all the different things. Understandably, we're doing that as well, which is why I like the farm stand, because I'm able to open it and leave it open and honor system for people to come, and I can still go live my life. But anyway, other people are also living their life, and this may not be their first stop, and I understand that. So anyway, in summer's just, I don't know, like, I think people are seeing all the flowers that I have in their own gardens or around, and it's not anything special. And I love zinnias. I will continue to plant zinnias, and I just have to figure out what else to plant along with it. I really want to try to focus more on perennials, especially drought tolerant perennials, to help me push through the Kansas summer, because it is rough by the time we get to mid-July. It is really hard. And let's see, what else am I gonna do different? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's really it. So anyway, that spark, lighting that spark again. Cleaning up is helping, because it's realizing, okay, we are hopeful for another season. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Did anyone else have a hard garden year? I don't know. I didn't preserve anything really this year. I barely canned. I just didn't have it in me, and I don't really know why. I don't know, it wasn't there, and I'm hoping to get the spark back, because when we first moved here, I was so excited, and the homesteading and all that stuff. I don't know if just like the social media thing got to me, because if you're a small business owner, social media is like kind of your lifeblood. Like, you have, especially like for local, like, you have to be on there every day posting, you need to be in stories, Instagram and Facebook and all the things, and I don't like it. I will be the first to admit, social media is a time suck for me. I get sucked in, I get drawn in, because I like pretty things, I like creative things, I love, like, oh, this is a good idea. But then what that does is I start to just lose track of time, scroll, and then I start to feel discontent, like, oh, I'm not doing enough, like, this isn't good enough, or my garden doesn't look like this, or maybe I should try this and not this, and I almost it's like paralyzing. Anyway, and so I'm actually completely getting rid of Instagram. That's the worst for me, is Instagram. So I haven't been on Instagram in almost like 2 months. I don't have that trouble as much with Facebook. So we're just going to focus on Facebook, and Facebook is actually where most of my local community and customers are anyway. But yeah, I don't like to be on social media. I don't. I feel like it's an alternate reality, and it's not real, and it takes away from being present with my family. And then if you're on social, especially on farm stand days, I have to be on there all day long, like checking, do I need to did somebody comment something? Like, does somebody need help? Like, do I need to respond? And so is there a message? And just because it's just constant. And sometimes it's hard to set those boundaries with social media when you're a small business owner, when that's what you need to do to sell your product and just communicate with your customers and your community. But also, I need to be present for my family. So what does that look like? I don't know. So I'm trying to figure out that balance. And, I had these big ideas of growth. And now I'm like, you know what? Like, we're just going to be okay with where we're at. We're going to just be small, because this has to be, secondary to my first job, which is a wife and a mother, and just taking care of my family. All of everything I just said is kind of me just verbally processing the things that I'm experiencing and going through. I was cleaning out the garden, and so I just started to have all these just thoughts and thinking about where we're going, where we're headed, what do I actually want from this, and I do love the flowers. I love the flowers. I do love the garden. I love to share. I love the beauty of God's creation. I think I'm just ready to rest, like the rest of creation in the fall and the winter. Like, I'm ready. I was ready a long time ago. And I really think when those tomatoes I went and I felt so angry and so frustrated, like the garden did me wrong. And I turned my back on it. And that sounds so weird. But I had always found solace in the garden, and those tomatoes, like I was like wanting to preserve pizza sauce and all these different things. And you know what, like our like You Pick Orchard we go to, their farm store, they have tomatoes, they have all those things. I could have done it. I think it was my pride. I felt really humbled and almost ashamed that I'm this gardener and I didn't do it. And here's the thing, I know it wasn't my plants that I sold at the plant sale, because my sister gets all her tomatoes from me, and she had her best tomato year ever. She had the full-on like tomatoes up her arch trellis all the way over, crossing on both sides, and it's what I dreamed of. And I am so happy for her. I'm so happy. I wanted to take pictures and document all of it, and because I was so happy, and I was frustrated because that's my vision, and I'm supposed to be the person who knows all the things. You know, I'm totally self-taught. YouTube University, all the garden books, blogs, like totally self-taught. Don't get me wrong. I'm no true expert. But it hurt the ego. And but you know, I need to, like, what do you do? Yeah, I just need to figure out how to push through that adversity and accept that defeat. Accept the defeat and not fight it and not turn my back and walk away. But I knew that was it for tomatoes. Like, I wasn't going to get another crop. And so, but I tried. And that was when I tried to plant the green beans. I tried another round of zucchini and nothing. And anyway, clearly the Lord is working something in me. And it is that, like, what the enemy meant for evil, God can turn for good. Like, what are you going to do when things don't go the way you planned? Are you gonna just give up and walk away? And I did. And that is not the way you should live life. And you know, I fought. I just turned my back on the garden completely, instead of just saying, oh, you know what, this didn't work, it's okay, like, I'll get the tomatoes from Gehringer's, from the orchard, and, you know, we'll just go that route. No, my ego was totally hit, and what is that? It's just that pride. I'm supposed to know, I'm supposed to do this well, and I didn't. And it was almost like that shame of wanting to hide instead of accept it. And you know what? Those challenges make you better if you allow them to. And here I am 3 months later, finally, like, accepting it. We'll get there. And thank you, Lord, that you were long suffering and patient, that you allow us that time to work through it. No. So whose fault is it really that I'm over here in the wilderness season? Maybe mine, not the Lord's. My heart needs to change. So anyway, we are going to come back with a garden. We're going to come back with more, just maybe a different perspective, maybe a more humble perspective, and be more present and not take the garden for granted. And you know what? Mom, the chickens are out. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not the most eloquent with words. This is just, I'm really verbally processing all this right now. And I just wanted to share with you guys, because I haven't been on here in a really long time. And I liked YouTube. I really do. That was another time suck. But I love it. I love videos. I love to edit. It's seriously like, they're the things I'm going to watch when I'm old. I don't want to watch the news. I don't want to watch whatever talk shows and nonsense. I want to watch my family videos and our life, and so I love to make them. And so I think that's also why I wanted to get rid of Instagram and just other things. Like, I want to shift my focus over here to this, because this has more value. Because, you know, we watch our family videos all the time, and especially my little ones, they get to relive these memories, and they stay more present and more aware, and it gives them that sense of belonging and tradition, and this is our family and this is what we do, and they get really excited when we watch the videos. So anyway, this has been a very long, chatty situation. There's probably more things that I'm going to think about and work through, but anyway, thank you for watching. I don't even know if any of you are still around anymore, but I appreciate you. See you in the next one. Later, friends. Yeah, okay, after I just signed off, here's what it is. At the beginning of the season in the spring, I had this revelation from the Lord. It's like, my value is not connected to how much I sell. And here it is being brought up again. My value is not connected to how well my garden does. Yes, honey, they're okay. They're okay. But my value is not connected to my tomatoes and if they grow. And, you know, that's another thing. Like, is the Lord breaking down these idols in my heart to be like, your worth and who you are as a person is not determined by the things you do, the things you achieve, the titles you have, the success that you have. And that can come in all different forms. And to just learn to be and to be content and to live. And when you do make mistakes, you have struggles, to be open and honest about that. Not just with myself, but with other people, because that can also help other people grow. Because we're here to serve and to love on people. And I don't know, like, I know that I love people who are open and honest and authentic like that, because I'm like, yeah, I can relate to that. And here I am having the opportunity to do it, and I've been hiding from it because of my pride. So anyway, yeah, thank you, Lord, for that revelation right here, right now. Okay, love you guys. Keep going, keep growing, because that's what we do around here. See you in the next one.